Hey guys, this is Jon, and welcome to another episode of the Meatgistics podcast. As you can see, I've got no Austin here with me, but behind the camera, we've got Patrick all mic'd up.
Howdy.
Howdy.
I had to unmute myself there for a second, but yeah, you're not riding solo on this one.
We are from Kansas, so I guess howdy is somewhat appropriate.
I'll accidentally use that walking down the hallways, lock eyes with a gentleman like over 60. I'll just rock a howdy.
Real quick, first of all, that's awesome. But we had the Walton Steak Cookoff event last weekend.
Yeah.
Right. Great time. We'll go over some of the stuff with that in a little bit. But one of our previous guests was there, Austin's brother-in-law, Jon, who is a legitimate cowboy.
Yep.
And I got to meet his dog that we talked about on that podcast, the one that goes and tears apart badgers and coyotes all by itself. Dude, it is a Australian Shepherd or a blue heeler pit bull mix. From front to back. That thing is one solid muscle. Like when I touched it, it was like touching like a really hard rubber tire, like a rubber tire for some sort of big construction equipment.
Jeez.
Like there was no give to it. You could just feel how strong that dog was. Super unbelievably friendly. Like Leo was playing with it. So clearly there was no, concern about how it was with humans. But he even said, he's like, yeah, I got a coyote the other day. One-on-one, this dog just like destroys animals that with my dogs, I'd be like,
I wouldn't.
I'd rather not.
I wouldn't want anything to do with that. I would be, as an owner, I'd be like, oh my God, are you okay? You just killed a coyote.
Yeah, we're gonna get you counseling. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I would be traumatized, I think.
God, if they had dog counselors, I'd definitely get Riggins one. Okay, so talking about the Walton Steak Cookoff event, great time, great success. The weather held perfectly, actually. It had been raining leading up to it. And until like 11 o'clock the night before, it was saying that we were going to get rained on in the morning. We had no rain. The heat broke a little bit. Patrick still got some sunburn.
Oh my God, my neck for sure.
But he's very pale and pasty.
I was in the shade a large portion of that time.
Surprisingly, I was fine.
Well, you're always red.
So we had our steak cook-off is a two-staker, so it's steak A and steak B. And we had winners for both of them. We had Ty Higgins of Smokin' Pokes Barbecue was winner of steak A. And Justin Anderson. God, I can't believe I can't remember it. It is not Josh, but it's a J name. I believe it's
You didn't write this down?
Justin Anderson. Nope. One steak B. I am sorry, Mr. Anderson.
Nice.
The great thing about that is the SCA, which is the Steak Cookoff Association, they work on a golden ticket type of system. So the golden ticket, here's just some quick information on it. Golden ticket is awarded to the winner of each SCA event. So there was one for A and one for B. If the winner has already won a golden ticket, it will pass down to the next cook. So if first place doesn't win it or wins it and he's already got it, he gives it to B. If B's already got it, they go to C. It keeps going down the line. It stops at 10th place. If you didn't finish in the top 10 and all 10 do have their golden tickets already, that one becomes like an at-large bid. You have to be a member of SCA to compete in these. So obviously you have to be a member to win. And they have some different rules due to COVID, not really important. We don't necessarily need to talk about that. But I think both of ours went down definitely to the outside of top 3. I believe they went down to 5 and 6. So obviously we had a lot of really experienced cooks here. We had a great time. I think next year, I'm at least going to recommend that we put in a separate category for best booth or whatever. Because I ended up spending a lot of time at that one all the way in the back left, the one that was set up like a bar.
I love this bar or whatever it said.
It was so much
cool.
fun. Those guys were in a great mood. And I cannot believe, I really am shocked that their appetizer didn't finish in the top few.
What was it?
It was a Brussels sprout that was wrapped in bacon. And then they put a balsamic vinaigrette and some Parmesan cheese on top. It was absolutely delicious.
Yeah, it's hard to. I've judged on one of those, the appetizers one, and it's hard to not be biased towards that because I don't like Brussels sprouts myself. So
it didn't taste anything like Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, but
I don't like Brussels sprouts.
Oh, okay. Well, could have fooled me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Brussels sprouts, but I love that. I went back a little bit asking for another one. But I actually went ahead and bought Brussels sprouts, bacon, a vinaigrette, and then I bought some, instead of Parmesan cheese, I bought some Gruyere, which I use in fondue a lot, and I was going to put some of that on top. But we got real busy this week, and because there's shredded cheese in there, I have to eat it. So we're gonna have to get some more cheese.
Let's go back to those. The coolest thing about like the steak teams, the ones that take a lot of pride in it, they like get their own like flags printed out and like T-shirts and stuff. Now I don't know what percent of that is sponsorship or they just want to look really, really cool, but I think that adds a level professionalism to it. I think, right? Yeah.
Oh, for sure. These guys take it incredibly seriously. This is more than just the hobby for a lot of these guys. It really is a passion.
Yeah, the payout's good enough too to where it's like you could make a full-time gig out of this if you win consistently.
Yeah. I mean, there's $1,000 prizes, $2,000 prizes most weekends. So yeah, if you travel enough, you could do it for a living. That'd be a weird job. What do? I'm a competition.
I better win
cook.
or I'm going to be very mad is what
right?
I'm going to be. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go ahead with what surprised me the most from the event. But while I'm talking, think about what surprised you the most.
Surprised me the most?
So what surprised me the most is what people, the vast array of what people were cooking on. You had everything from just the standard PK original grill to these like easy bake ovens that just looked like something a little kid would pretend to use in their room when they were a child. Then last year's winner, Patrick Richard, or James Richard.
Patrick?
Yeah, sorry, James Richard. He was working with something new that almost looked kind of like a mini version of the pizza oven that's at Casey's.
Yeah.
It was just
like it almost
bizarre.
like it didn't move or anything, but yeah, it had a little rack to it and a little under area to keep so he can maintain his heat not super close to the heat source. So
what I'd be interested in is Tex77 on Meatgistics the other day posted a video of him cooking a steak, flames underneath or hot coals underneath, and then he loaded up a charcoal, put it on top of that, and was cooking it from both sides at once. I'm interested if that's like kind of the thought process behind some of those ovens.
Yeah,
is you can hit them at the same time instead of just cooking really the bottom.
Maybe.
All right. So what surprised you the most?
Surprised me the most, like the attention to detail some people would have, or just the difference in techniques between them. Like a lot of people with their char lines, they'll go for diamond shapes, others not direct squares, but it's fun to see. Someone even had metal pieces skewered all the way through the steak and made like an X. I don't know what that was, if that was to help the cook on the inside. And then another thing that's not too much of a surprise because I researched this, but just like the scoring system for the doneness level of the steak.
Yeah.
Anything rare is a 7. Anything well done is a 7, and then you start to get your medium rare and medium well. Those are 8 and 9s, and medium is a 10. So it's and dwelling time, and then when you turn in and you have a 15-minute win. There's all these little things. So I got to say the attention to detail or lack thereof of some cooks, and I think that really separates the cream from the crop with these guys.
Yeah, experience. One of the other things I found surprising is like people who have won in the past not even placing. Like it was just interesting to see like some people who obviously had lots of banners on their booth or stall, whatever we're calling it, their cooking area. So they'd obviously won a lot in the past, not even being in the top 10. It was surprising.
And some of that, maybe they just got a sweet room of judges that actually loved what they had the previous time. So a lot of it, might not be up to them. It could be
it's subjective.
100%, that little personal preference, or because we held a class the day before, right?
Yep.
Where we could
how to judge.
Teach people how to judge, and they can come in. So it's not like it's you're jumping through hoops to become a judge, but it could be something as simple as that. Maybe it's because it is subjective. Maybe the best steak that we would have judged very highly might have not won.
We would have judged things very differently. The number one difference I think between cooking a steak for competition, cooking a steak at home, there's two huge ones. One is they trim off all the fat before you cook the steak.
Yeah.
And that is just that makes me unreasonably angry.
I mean, we know why.
Well, they're cutting off the cap.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? That's the best part of a ribeye. Anyways, and then the other thing is, in my opinion, they were all over seasoned to just the nth degree. There was way too much seasoning on them. Last night, instead of doing my normal reverse sear, I cooked a steak the old way, seared it, and then finished it at like a medium heat. And man,
the texture must have been.
Was it nowhere near as good as a reverse sear? I mean, not even. It's barely the same food product. Like reverse sear is the only way to cook a steak in my mind.
I remember not when you first started doing it, but we started to get kind of steak heavy here leading up to the last one we did a couple years back. But I still think one of the best steaks I ever had was you just did a simple reverse sear, not even thinking of it, not trying to nail the cook or anything. It just did Walton's Ultimate Steak and Roast. And I'm just in here eating julienne strips of it, almost the whole thing. And I'm just like, this might be the greatest thing I've ever had.
That is a very nice fringe benefit of working here, is getting
fat. Yeah.
Eat a lot of food. No way. You've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I did. Well, I had a back injury, so it's hard to want to eat food.
So then Monday, the Wichita Air Capital Flyers are coming in to pick up their check. We raised $7,500 for them.
Nice.
Don't quite quote me on that. I'm almost positive that's the amount. Great organization. For those of you who don't know, the Wichita Air Capital Flyers are a Special Olympics team. So
yeah, all different sports. I think a lot of that cost actually goes toward like where they're lodging and staying and travel and stuff and equipment. So it goes to an awesome cause. Yep.
Something you can definitely feel good about supporting. There was 650-ish people here, again, non-comp competitors or people running a booth. Don't quite quote me on that. I'm fairly sure that's the number. But Wichita Brewing Company was definitely a good idea, and we will bring them back again. They brought in 3 different beers.
They had a V6 for sure.
V6, there
was an amber.
And their amber.
Yeah.
And at the beginning, you were getting like 2 ounces, 3 or 4 ounces of each. By the end, people were just giving them tickets to go, I want all of this one.
Yeah.
So Patrick pointed out, you were getting $1 for a 12-ounce beer.
Yeah. I mean, because if your normal ticket you got the wristband, and then you'd get the 3 samples ticket.
Yep.
But I was like, hey, just put all 3 of the single one. I go, just give me a 12-ounce V6.
And they were more than willing to do that.
And then you can go back to our ticket booth and buy those sample tickets for $1. So it's like, you're getting $1 a beer.
Yep.
Probably the best price all weekend anywhere in the city. So.
Not even probably. And it's not like you're getting a PBR or Milwaukee's
it's a great
Best
flavor.
You're getting a really good beer for $1. So next year, I think we'll do a better job pointing out that that's a possibility, because I think that would have drawn a ridiculous number of people. I was happy with the crowd of people. The time we did it before in 2019, I got stuck in the show. Well, I mean, I was working in the showroom the entire time, never even got to go outside. So I don't have a good comparison, but the people working the ticket booth were just like, people came nonstop from 11 to like 1:30. It was just constant line. So it was a great event. We definitely learned some things. We had the Wichita Wagon Masters were here cooking up some of the extra steaks, giving out like huge samples of steak. Probably need some better signage to direct people to that, because one of the things I did hear somebody say is they were disappointed. They thought like a meal was going to be provided. There was definitely meals worth of samples.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could keep going back and get as much of that steak as you wanted.
My family went home with steak.
And we had jerky and snack stick seasonings up here. Plus, they were cooking up some of the sausages I made. Dude, that Supreme Pizza, oh my God. Mm-hmm. So we made up some of the Supreme Pizza brought. We made it into a cured sausage, and we added 10%, I believe it was 10%. Yeah, it was 10% of already cured pepperoni.
Ooh.
So the Supreme Pizza brat is not designed to be a cured sausage. The reason that it's not formulated for that, so it doesn't really have the salt content you're wanting for a cured sausage. By adding 10% of a product that is cured and already been cooked, we're upping that salt content to the point where, I mean, we made 45 pounds of product with 45 pounds of pork with 5 pounds of the pepperoni. And we made no other changes. We just used an entire, enough to do 50 pounds. We added some mozzarella cheese. Then we smoked it. We cooked it fully, then let it cool down, vac packed it, and then they reheated it on their grill there, cut it up into little slices. And it was just so ridiculously good. I thought that was my favorite thing from the entire whatever. I know I made it, but I kept going back. Going back.
Had that one and the Hatch green chili was right next to it.
Hatch green chili is right next. And the Hatch green chili is a really good seasoning.
Yeah.
But it's hard to compare anything to that Supreme Pizza with the hard log pepperoni.
Yeah.
I had somebody ask me the other day if they could use, like the pepperoni you get at the store that's already thin sliced. I would say no.
It'd have so much. I think it'd even have more grease on it too. Or
if you use the already sliced?
Yeah.
I very well think you may be correct.
Just based off of what I know with that processed pepperoni. So.
Yep. The only reason that I would tell somebody that they could use that is if they're buying a pre-ground product, like if you're buying ground pork, you could take that and just chop it up really, really fine and mix it in and you'd be okay. Like if you didn't have a grinder. But in general, use that hard log pepperoni. All right. From that event, is there anything else we want to talk about?
No, I mean, I think all the vendors did a great job, knocked out of the park.
Thank you.
We had,
so
Funky Monkey that was there. We had,
we didn't get to try any of those crab rangoon fries.
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I had some. Well, my girlfriend bought me some, so I was just like, oh, perfect. I don't have to.
You asked if I wanted to split one, and then you had one.
Well, you were my plan A, and then I was like, you know what? He's running around a million different places. Plan B it is.
Luckily, I did get to try just a little bit of Dylan's, and they were absolutely
Flying Stove. Flying Stove was there.
Great.
They're always great. Who else was there? Let's give everyone a shout out.
Shaken or Stirred Bartending, and he's going to be on the podcast.
They had a full bar.
Yeah, they were amazing.
Yeah, we're going to do like a pairing, what goes with what kind of podcast with him, right?
Yep. What goes with what, and sampling flight of bourbons. My wife and a friend came and they said that they were making drinks like spot on. They weren't backing off. They were just really
what
good.
they should be. Perfect.
Yes. Then Pass It On Outdoor Mentors. I've talked to Mike and we sent out an email. Well, it'll be a week ago when you guys get this. They're doing their 1,000 ticket 2-day Alaskan fishing trip raffle. So you enter that. It's, I think, $20 for a ticket. And then you get more tickets per dollar the more you buy.
Like $50 for 3
and 7 for 100.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I think that's what it is. I might be wrong there. But they said they raised $1,600 on their raffle, which is awesome. Range 54 was here. They had something to do with the acquiring and the giving of that gun. So they were also raffling off a case of 9mm home defense. PK was here. PK was giving out one of their grills. And the winner of that was actually James Richard. He actually won that.
I went up to him, I was like, can I have it?
Every time he comes here, he wins something.
You're getting something.
Yeah.
I told him to do a review. I go, do a review on it on your YouTube.
For sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Then Ducks Unlimited was here. They had a lot of people at their booth. BHA was here, though not our friend Kurt, with some other guys, but they did a great job. They had a really nice SIG 9mm. Diamond Archery was set up back by where the Wagon Master guys were cooking. They had an archery demo range for kids. It was really cute to watch. I wish we had gotten video of it, but I guess Leo did it.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I wish we had gotten video of it, but
I got him kind of hanging out by the fan with his uncle. So
he's such a cute
yeah. I always just go, where's Leo at? Gotta get some baby footage.
With me or with John?
John.
Okay.
Yeah, the cowboy.
He called me Uncle John.
Oh, does he?
So
he's just
he's just
confused because he has another uncle.
I've graduated to Uncle John.
Nice.
Okay, what other vendors were here? DJ Carbon.
Yeah, he
did a really good job.
Yeah.
I'm trying to walk that line in my mind, and I think we've nailed that. Anyone, if we forgot you, I apologize.
Noble Salts.
That was the one I couldn't think of. Yep, Noble Salts was here. Oh, and
Slingers, something like that.
Chili Slingers.
Chili Slingers.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're both here giving out samples. They did really well. Noble came in 2019 as well, and was a hit then. That guy and my wife got to talking 2 years ago.
Super nice guys.
Yeah. And he was talking about like particle size and why it's, why some of them are so fine and why some of them are larger. But yeah, great event. We will definitely do it again in the coming year. So, all right, moving on to some other meat news things. First thing I want to talk about is an article I read in Meeting Place that talks about how prices for beef are expected to jump 4% based on the fact that production is going to dip by 3%. So here's a quote from the article. It's the USDA chief economist, Seth Meyer, says, the industry is already in a contraction phase in the cattle cycle and maybe deeper than we expected. All right, so cattle cycle, what is it and how does it affect beef prices? This is from Beef Magazine. It's an old article. It's from like 2007, but it still applies. And I did a little bit more research to fill in some of the gaps of what they're talking about. It says every decade since basically the 70s, there's been a drop in calf prices right in the middle of the decade. They stopped at the 20 teens, but I looked it up. And right in 2017, it dropped to its lowest. Everything else from the years before were either 4, 5, or 6, where prices dropped to the lowest point they could. We're the opposite. We're on our way up, but it is only 2021, though it feels like this decade has already been going on for forever. We might just be seeing a natural increase in prices, and it might start to filter down over the next couple of years. But the important takeaway from that is be prepared for these beef prices to continue. I don't know what they're talking about with 4%. That's absolute nonsense. Beef at my local grocery store is up way more than 4% over a year. I'd guess 15. I mean, that's just anecdotal, but I do all the grocery shopping, certainly all the meat shopping in my house, and I pay close attention to what I'm paying for strip steaks, for ribeyes, anything like that. And there is no way it's gone up only 4%. I absolutely refuse to believe that. Just absolute nonsense. Okay, a couple other things. Dove season is opening here September 1st. Because of that, we're going to move our monthly our monthly live stream to the 31st. So that's a Tuesday. That'll be the last day of the month. We're going to go ahead and draw a winner for August. We're also re-giving away, I guess, July's prize, which was that ridiculous, awesome professional knife set. You're getting Victorinox knives, which is the really nice knives we sell to our professional butchers and meat processors. You're going to get a slicing knife, a chef's knife, a butcher's knife, which is the knife that I always say is good for home defense. A set of 4 steak knives. You're going to get a really nice sharpener. We've never given away one of these before. It's the Nairi. It is a significant step up from what we normally give away when we're doing these knife packages. Normally we give away a chef's cut, which is a nice sharpener, but this is really at the very top end of the retail market. And then you're going to get a Capuche stainless steel knife block. Listen, guys, the guy who won, I tried really hard to contact him. I even extended our, get us in this number, respond in this number of days, but just could not get in touch with him. So a side note there is, if you're entering these contests, please give us an email address that you're actually going to check. I have a feeling a lot of these are just things that people enter and go to some account they never check. And they're like, oh, I'll never win. So no, it happens.
Usually, to me, that happens a lot where it's just like, oh, I really want to enter this, but I don't want to get spammed on my primary account. Let me use one I don't use ever. And you don't know the password. And then you try to recover it. It becomes a nightmare to even do that.
So I would say over the course of a year, a full 12 months, this is being honest, we probably don't send more than 50 emails.
Yeah.
And through most of the year, that number is way lower, 1 to 2 emails a month. And then around the holiday seasons, when we're doing these special sales, we'll send multiple emails.
Yeah.
Some days
you're going to want to hear
Right.
about those. Yeah.
During the 13 days of Christmas, we'll send daily emails.
Retailer stuff like that. I just put in my other folder. Like it's not my focused. I have focused like work and very important things. And then other could be not just anything, but stuff that I know I might want to pay attention to.
Yeah, you can set it up so it automatically filters things into specific folders.
Love it.
But yeah, so we'll draw a winner for that. That will be somebody who is joining us, watching the live stream, and still there when we draw it and responds. So that is going to be an awesome prize. We will also draw the winner for August, but that's just whoever wins it, hopefully. And we'll talk about what is coming up in the next couple of months for sales and giveaways. All right. Another thing that I saw in the news this morning, a long time ago, Austin and I used to do this thing where we would try to trick each other with what we were eating. We'd make either a snack stick, or often Austin would find an old snack stick, and we'd have to guess the seasoning and all that. We did like, what meat is this sometimes? And Austin once got me by bringing in, I believe it was the Beyond Meat that he brought in. He made patties out of it. And I got to be honest, it was not bad. It clearly was not beef though. Like, I think I guessed bison and ostrich or something weird like that. Because as soon as you bite it, you're like, it's not beef. It's something else. But they have filed 108 patents for new vegan products, including milk, bacon, eggs, and seafood. So first on the bacon, my wife eats this imitation nonsense bacon. So that's already out there. I don't know what they're planning on doing that's different. It just smells like liquid smoke when she cooks it, and it tastes nothing like bacon. Like, not even in the same realm.
But as long as they feel good, as long as you feel good about yourself.
So we're going to get into that in a second. But eggs is another one that I find weird. Seafood, I don't care about at all. If they make a good, they're going to try shrimp, crab, and tuna. If they can make that where it tastes good, I'll eat that. I don't care, especially if the price is right on it. But I take great and personal offense to this one. They have a patent out there for fake jerky. Listen, jerky is meat. You can't make something else and call it jerky.
They have a workaround with what is jerky.
Yeah, but here, definition jerky. Noun, meat that has been cured by being cut into long, thin strips and dried. Meat. That first word there.
Yeah.
Do not call this jerky. You better come up with something else.
I wonder. So that's from Webster's though, right? Probably. I wonder if there's like a food, like who's the like end all be all food people that has to go through them?
USDA.
So wonder what their definition of jerky would be.
And when they started coming out with more of these things, Dylan and I was talking, and I didn't care that they were calling it meat. I'm like, whatever. And he goes, no, you have to think all the time that all the time and money that the meat processing industry has marketed meat.
Yeah.
Now they're going to make something that's not that and just jump on top of that.
Let's get a class action lawsuit.
Right.
Going.
Just absolutely not.
Well, hell.
So USDA, what is jerky? Jerky is a nutrient dense meat that has been made lightweight by drying.
Sounds like we might have a case here.
So they do not call it.
Well, even when they say Beyond Meat, to me, that's still like, I've seen it in stores and I have to even stop. I go, ooh, what is this? I go, oh, you're not an actual protein.
So it's usually in that kind of foo-foo area that my wife likes to shop from.
The Simple Truth is on. There's a leaf on everything. You're like, what is this?
So I have to now take care not to wear anything Waltons when I go grocery shopping, because she likes this fake kielbasa thing that I always have to grab, and I grab it and put it in the cart real quietly.
Oh my God.
Like, But whatever.
That's a funny bit right there.
Yeah, definitely not. We don't want to show
our next sales video.
But they say the goal of this is to make the products indistinguishable from meat. So my question is, do you know that there is meat? Like, there is already something that you're trying to duplicate here. And I got in an argument with a girl this weekend, and I've said this 1,000 times here. I do not care that people are vegan. Good for you.
Yeah.
Like, if it's a health choice, awesome, works best for your body, that's great. Happy for you that you found something that works for. But if your argument is that animal lives matter just as much as a human, or you don't want to kill, you cannot get away from the fact that the agricultural industry, getting wheat, getting sorghum, getting any of that stuff kills way more animals per serving than killing one cow and getting hundreds of servings out of it.
Yeah, but that's not on the PETA website.
Right.
It's just it's confirmation bias. People are going to want to just look up and hear what they want to hear.
The thing that was always kind of bouncing around when I was in high school was a rat is a pig, is a dog, is a boy. Trying to like say that all those lives are equal. I obviously vastly disagree with that. But if that is your stance, then wouldn't you want to take as little life as possible?
Oh yeah, totally.
That's a cow.
That's what I'm saying. If their logic is to preserve life, but what they're doing by doing that, and it's
so quickly, so everybody knows what we're talking about here when we say that mass wheat farms, mass corn farm, well, I don't know. Yeah, probably corn farms. Mass farms are killing lots of animals. We're talking about moles, voles, rats, even though nobody likes them. Even badgers, all sorts of things get
very necessary,
sucked up by those combines.
Ecosystem.
Right. Too. And I am not saying anything bad about those farming techniques. That's what we need to do.
We're on board with it.
Yeah. But you have to be like, I explained that to her, and the cognitive dissonance that went on in her mind to make it what she was doing more ethical than what I was doing was just flabbergasted. Like I just,
they wanted to,
at the end, I had no response. I'm like, you're being intellectually dishonest here.
Yeah. Oh, that's a very proper term.
Yep.
Intellectually dishonest. It's like you're just ignoring what you know to be fact because one doesn't make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah. And again, just to restate, I have no problem with vegans. My wife was vegetarian, occasionally vegan for a good part of our earlier marriage.
Yeah.
I've managed to win that finally.
When they start trying to change your personal politics about things.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
When you try to
replace what you're even talking about with other things, you're just like, it's what, like you said, intellectually, it's just not correct.
Yeah. I 100% don't understand. Like, not all, we're certainly not perfect as human beings, but we have to be at least honest about the fact that we're not perfect.
Yeah. And so keep going.
And there is something liberating, some sort of even connection you get with people when you admit your mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, this went badly or something like that. Someone else sees you being vulnerable like that.
Yeah.
And then has the opportunity to either take a dig at you or help build you back up. And that having somebody come across that bridge and offer you a hand when you've shown yourself to be vulnerable it's an important part of being a human.
It's funny you say that because I often thought, like, say I'm an expert at something, you know nothing about it.
Right.
There's two ways I can go about this. I can laugh and ridicule, or I could just go, oh, he wants to learn. And I could go, oh, hey, actually, here's stuff you might not know about it. And we can just learn together, because often things I think I know a lot about and I start speaking out loud, I often learn more. I go, oh, wait, actually, building upon what I already know and teaching somebody, that's the best tool to actually become an expert yourself in said field. So having
to teach somebody a subject makes you learn it way better than just studying. Way better.
Because you go, oh, actually, I don't think I know that as well as I did.
And they'll ask questions that you never would have thought to.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, wow.
God, I don't know that. I'll have to figure that out. I mean, that happened on the live stream the other day. Not exactly the same, but somebody was talking about vac sealing liquids. Like, how can you vac seal a liquid, then put it in a freezer, freeze it, and why doesn't it expand and rupture the bag? I have no idea.
That's a great question.
I have to figure it out, but I have no idea what the science is behind that. Like,
if someone could tell us, we'd be all about it, though.
I would never have thought to check that. Ever, ever, ever. But all right, Patrick, one last kind of topic. What is the... Oh, no. Sorry. On the topic of Dove opening day being on the 1st. Just a couple of quick of my favorite things I've had of Dove. Obviously, bacon wrapped Dove is just phenomenal. But when I was down in Texas, we did two things. We did Dove nuggets, which were kind of just like chicken nuggets, shaped-ish, deep fried. They were out of this world. But the best Dove thing I've ever had, it was Dove Tortellini.
Oh.
It was so ridiculously good. When I was a kid, I used to get these, my grandmother would make these little chicken tortellinis, and then we'd cook them in a homemade chicken broth. And if I can get my hands on, if I can get some Dove this year, I'm absolutely going to make that again, because we used to make it in Texas and it was absolutely amazing. All right. So last topic. What is the next project you want to work on here?
That I want to work on?
Like you want us to do. Like
one that we
video
haven't already done.
series.
Ooh, a series.
Something we're not already working on.
Well, I kind of thought of something when you were talking about steaks earlier.
Okay.
I was like, what if you like had to cook a dollar steak, like a steak from like the dollar store, but take that to more like what we do here, which is like more sausage stuff. I was wondering if we could, I don't know, take not spectacular stuff and make it good, because I often see that kind of on the internet a lot, but I don't want to replicate people. I want to inform people about stuff that is right up our alley.
So okay, I see what you're saying there with like making sausage out of it. The only hard part for that is going to be, we're already using a relatively inexpensive cut when we're making
good point.
Sausage with like pork butts and stuff.
Yeah.
And trim is actually sometimes harder to get than the pork butts.
Yeah.
Unless you know a processor. That's a plane.
Yeah.
That is ridiculously low. If you guys can hear that,
I think we can.
It actually, our ceiling was
this was yesterday. We heard a couple of them.
Like this?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Something's happening, dude.
So what I'm looking for here is, we have for a long time been talking about getting the dry cured stuff going. But our dry curing cabinet is we're having some water issues.
That would have been one I'd say too. A lot of people are very interested in dry curing anything. I saw our like viewership on some videos, and it's just, even for how new it was up there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe we learn together with the audience, you know? I mean, not saying that we're not expert, like we're all not Dylan. We all didn't go to school for this. So but if we can learn together and actually just put out some good content,
and there's a possibility that being, because our cabinet will still perfectly control temperature. We're just having a problem with the water clogging the sprays to get humidity in there. But the regular person at home is not going to have a way to control humidity anyway. So maybe we're better off just letting the humidity be what it is and see what happens. I mean, we have the tools to monitor. The big one is the pH drop. We need to make sure that we get the proper pH drops for sausage, at least the proper pH drops at the proper time, within the proper time. So if we can still manage that.
What bums me out more than anything, though, because you like look for this, like how to dry cure at home or something, and you'll find a couple of videos where people are just absolutely doing it the wrong way, and they gloss over any kind of science or any kind of where to hang it, how long, all the things to expect. And meanwhile, they have millions of views, and people are like, "Oh, thanks." I'm just like, "What? You guys are going to get sick. You're hanging meat just in a closet."
Yeah, right. Hang it in your basement closet
for 30 days and come back and, it looks okay. And it's just like, dude, but we're not in 1772.
Exactly.
It's just like, what are you talking about?
And what makes me worried about that is, like you said, a few of those people saying, like the worst one is, cook your summer sausage to 145 degrees and then take it with you while you're out on hunting trips.
And then get violently ill.
Yeah, you're going to get somebody like out in the middle of nowhere. You're going to give
out of there.
Serious food poisoning.
Dehydration.
Like,
they're going to be, they're going to be like on the show Naked and Afraid.
Yeah. One thing though that I definitely am going to start working on is, I don't know how long this has been out there, but I just saw it for the first time. You can freeze dry without any really expensive equipment. It is possible.
Oh.
I thought you had to have either a specific freeze dryer machine, or they sell a certain vacuum sealer that basically has, it's almost like our vacuum tumbler. Like it's got a chamber. So you pull a vacuum and you set a temperature. So it goes like 10 degrees, you put it in there and it stays in there for however long. But apparently you can get a long, wide pan or whatever, some sort of container, like a baking sheet, lay everything out on a single row, put it into deep freeze or, lay down freezer, leave it in there for like sometimes up to 3 weeks, depending what it is, take it out and immediately vacuum pack it. And supposedly that is more or less freeze dried. We are going to find out if that is more or less freeze dried. So I'm going to try, I think the first thing I'm going to try is a mixture of, oh no, it's going to all have to be the same size. So I think I'll try blueberries first, because I've had freeze dried blueberries in the past and I actually really like them. So
nice.
I think that'll be one of the next things we work on. We are done-ish with all the shooting for our dry marinades.
Yeah. We're still deciding if we want those to be like longer vid, like normal recipes you'd find on Meatgistics, or if we want them to do like this cool dry marinade minute thing, just keep it real short and to the point. And because like marinating, like it's people like marinating sexy when it's wet. When it comes as a dry marinade, it's hard to sell that. So we tell you the 3 quick hitters of why you actually need dry marinades and why you're actually going to end up liking them more.
Yeah.
So we do that, and then maybe just hit the recipe super duper quick. So that way, when people are on the product page on Walton's Inc., they can click that and watch it and see everything they need to know.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Probably keeping them shorter, somewhere in like the total, including the intro, 2-ish minutes, somewhere around there.
I wonder how big well, I guess, would it be a YouTube embedded, or would it be?
Yeah, it'd be YouTube.
Okay, then cool. Then file size wouldn't matter for that.
Yep. All right. That is it for the week. We'll be back in a week. Hopefully Austin will be with us, and we'll talk about what's going on in the world of meat news. All right. Thanks, guys.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're everywhere, guys. Spotify, YouTube. We're on Talk North Network. So.
Yep. And leave a review. It really does help. Some of you have been doing that, so we do really appreciate that. I looked at the reviews through Apple the other day, and I think there was like mostly 5s and just a couple of 4s. There were no like 1-star. These guys are stupid.
Sausage makers.
So we appreciate that. All right. Thanks, guys.
See ya. Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltonsinc.com. And to get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Walton's, everything but the meat.